when I was in Haiti in the early years, again, it was like days of grace, I call it. I mean, God was just moving everywhere. And so I met with my Haitian staff and I said, let's go to a voodoo temple. And the Haitians think of it differently. So they're like, whatever. To me, I'm like, ooh, voodoo. 3 days of prayer and fasting before I even went. I went into the voodoo temple. There's only 2 windows and the whole, it's hot, hot, hot. Haiti's hot anyway. But you walk into a voodoo temple, I preach the gospel. The voodoo man's right there. Doesn't oppose me. I preach, I leave. I'm like, well, I still got my arms and legs. I've still got my right mind. I don't feel demons attacking me. And so we went again. And so I went to the master. And so I said, I got a question. Why he doesn't oppose me? I walk in the voodoo temple, there's a naked man laying on the ground. Got a key tied to him. Old man, the key means voodoo man does this. That means he's done as far as he can go. And nothing more I can do for you. I healed you before because the spirit of sickness was on you, and voodoo works with spirits, and he removed the spirit. So the man got well, and the man says, voodoo man healed me. Maybe he even did it a second time. But in the end, Satan will take that man's soul because he's put all his faith in the voodoo man. The only thing that will change that is Don walking in the door, Christian. But Don, for me, walking in the door and seeing him. And I saw the voodoo man. I said, can I pray for the old man? He said, sure. I prayed in English, prayed in tongues. I do speak in tongues. Prayed in tongues, prayed in Creole, the best I could remember. Nothing happened. Man stayed on the floor. And I knew the key meant he was over. I mean, he'll die soon. And the voodoo man says, this key will get you into heaven. Just wear this key. So okay, didn't work. So I'm going to talk to the voodoo. That's why I came to talk to him, the voodoo guy. So I sit down and start talking to him. Somebody pokes me in the shoulder. It's the naked man. And the chairs are small in a voodoo temple. I don't know if you remember in Haiti, but the chairs, because of poverty, they don't waste that much wood. They only have them like that. And so I'm sitting there, and so because of that, the man's package is like in my face, a bit too close for me. And so I said, yes, sir, can I help you? He said, do you have any water? Yeah, okay. So my guys are with me. Give me here's water, And so I'm talking to the voodoo man. To ask me again. Better for you to punch me in the nose. That's just irritating me when I'm that intense. And I said, yes, sir. What do you need? And he said, I'm hungry. Do you have any food? So we always have Nutri-Grain or something. So we fiddle around with a backpack, and I give him a Nutri-Grain or something. Third time he comes up and punches me in the thing. And I'm like, yes, sir, what is it now? I don't catch it. Adam, I don't catch it. He got healed. I don't catch it. I just want to know from this voodoo man why he's not fighting me. And so finally, when the third time he came up and he called me blanc, a white. He says, can I go home now? And I just realized, naked man standing in front of me just got healed. And so the voodoo man he loses money because the man got healed. He's paid to take him into heaven with the key. He just lost money. So I look at little grandma. The whole place I got one big red Ford truck. Everybody knows me. So the whole voodoo temple is surrounded by people. Why is Pastor Don in the voodoo temple? Maybe he's doing voodoo. Maybe the Blanc is doing voodoo. And so everybody's watching, which blocks the air, which makes it crazy hot inside. I said, Grandma, I said, bring the old man a T-shirt. Let's not send him out naked. So they brought him a T-shirt. Off he went. So then I turned to the voodoo man. I said, that man was just healed. Why do you not oppose me? I come in this temple and I preach Jesus. Yes. What you do is demonic. Yes. He says, what I do is against God. I said, I bring light. Yes. No argument. He says, you bring darkness. I said it to his face. You bring darkness. Yes. No issue. That's why I said I'd rather walk next to him because I know where he's coming from I know where he's coming from. And so I said, why is it you do not oppose me when I come in here? Why is it no matter what you're doing, even in witchcraft to the old man, and I've walked in before where sexual things are happening and they stop when I walk in. Why don't you oppose me when I come in here? I've been chased before. People throwing rocks at me, and there's lots of stories there, machetes and carrying on. You'd never oppose me. And then he tells me the secret. Don, I work off hierarchy. I look at my temple and I say, little money, little spirit. You want to fall in love with somebody? There's a room over here. It's pink lace. It's got the chocolate. Remember, we give chocolates in the heart shape. to her wives or sweethearts. I don't know where he found it. God even knows where he found it. But he's got one of those in there. And it's all pink. It's got some piece of lace over there. So you want to fall in love with somebody? That's 15 pennies, 15 goods. That's nothing. Little spirit, little money. He'll go in there and do his incantation, and she's supposed to fall in love with you. Then you walk around the voodoo temple, and then there's coins painted over the door, and that's lottery. So you go to the voodoo man to win the lottery. Now, the spirit comes to him. He calls it, its English word is mounting. I don't remember the Creole word. But the spirit he calls upon to mount him, and then he sends it out, the spirit. So you don't go to win the lottery asking the voodoo man for the winning numbers, right? Satan is not in my tomorrow. Satan is not in 10 seconds from now. But he's my past real well. He doesn't know my tomorrows. So he can't look at Thursday and know the winning numbers. What he does is the spirit comes to the voodoo man, and then he sends it out to have, I think like a bingo wheel. So the guy's drawing numbers. That's just my simple brain. But the guy's drawing, this demon spirit is telling him what numbers to draw. That's how they win. I saw a guy in T-Plus. T-Plus is another village. Won twice and rebet it each time. Second time he won big money. But third time he lost it all. He just got too greedy. But you pay the voodoo man for the spirit to come to him. He controls the spirit. Now you come into this side over here. There's a little man burning with smoke, and it's Lucifer. They call him Lucifer. It's a spirit of death. You want to kill somebody. So somebody in Port-au-Prince doesn't like Uncle Charlie, so they bring Uncle Charlie to the voodoo temple. They pay in the hot room. These don't translate well. It's called a hot quick room. Hot. Adam's hot. I've been there twice. Don't ever want to go again. Don't want to. But bones and blood and sacrifices in there. And so there's a hole in the floor. So you lift up the rock. You put, back in the day it was $260 US. 260 US. You put the rock on it. That seals the deal. Because the voodoo man wants to make money. Remember, it's a money thing. It's not a demon thing. And he says, I call on the spirit of death. Now, Don, I don't like calling the spirit of death because the spirit of death comes to me, could take my life. And I know what I do is against God. But he's got $260 in the hole. He wants that money. He's got 10 kids like every other Haitian there. And so he wants money. So he's doing exactly what Dad taught him, Grandpa taught him. He's illiterate, can't read nothing. But he's just doing what his family does, voodoo. He wants that money, so he goes in, does the incantations, blood sacrifice, all that stuff. The spirit mounts him and then sends it away to the person he want to kill. So when he told me that, I said, what happens to him is fever. The room is called hot fast. The person gets a fever fast. I got a fever fast, boom, they're gone. And so I said to the man, fever schmeaver. I said, I don't believe in that stuff. He said, I've seen him die outside my door. But he doesn't like doing it. He wants the money. He needs the money. But he doesn't like doing the thing. But he said, Don, I work a hierarchy. Little spirit, medium spirit, death spirit is the highest spirit you can get. Death spirit. But he said, when you walk in the door, you walk in with chief spirit. And when chief spirit walks in with you, I look at my hierarchy, he pulls his pockets out. He says, I work in hierarchy. I got nothing bigger than chief. And so I must submit. I don't like you taking my business away. The old man got healed. I don't like you taking my business away. But he pulls his pocket. He's like, I look at my arsenal. I got nothing bigger than chief. So now he understands demon spirits more than a Christian does. I understand chief comes in with you. When chief comes in, I must submit because I got nothing bigger than chief. He didn't like what I'm doing. And I got video of me hugging him, praying for him. I said, well, sin abounds, grace much more abounds. I put my hands all over him. I'll send you the video. Matter of fact, it's on my website just recently from 16 years ago. Me praying over the voodoo man. And grace. Not just some power and demon come out of him, but God loves that man.